The Oklahoma Sooners are off to a hot start in the class of 2023. Yesterday, getting the number one player in the state of Oklahoma, the number two tight end in the nation, Luke Hasz, to join that 23 class, and then today doubling down with five-star athlete Makai Lemon also deciding he is going to join that 23 cycle. And we have got to talk about this because this vaults the Oklahoma Sooners to the number one class in next year's cycle, and we have got to break it all down. But before we do, as always, y'all know the drill. I want to hear from y'all. Hop down in the comments. Give me a Y if you're excited for Hasz and Lemon to be a part of the Sooners class, or an N if you aren't. And let me know why. And if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell notification. That way you don't miss any of this content. And if you enjoy it, be sure to like and comment down below. But with all of that being said, the Sooners are off to a blazing start in the class of 2023. As if Malachi Nelson, a top quarterback in next year's cycle, and a really talented player was not enough, the Sooners have only continued on their warpath in next year's cycle. Yesterday, adding in the number two tight end in the nation, Luke Hasz, into their class, and that was a really important get for a few reasons. First and foremost, the type of player he is. He is a really dynamic athlete, one that all institutions in the nation would have been very happy to have a part of their 23 class, one that the Sooners are ecstatic to be a part of theirs. And not only because of how talented he is, but because he's the number one player in the state of Oklahoma and you were able to keep him home. This is a great addition. Like I said earlier, you already have Malachi Nelson, so anytime you're able to surround a talented quarterback like Nelson with playmakers, which hasn't been an issue for Oklahoma, but the fact that you're getting them this instantaneously shows you that individuals are excited about playing with Malachi Nelson. And this isn't surprising. This is something I've talked about, and it's really intriguing because when Malachi Nelson went to commit, he was talking about how he wanted to commit sooner rather than later so that he could start recruiting for his class, and we're seeing the fruits of those labors paying off. Individuals want to play with top-tier quarterback talent, and Nelson is just that, a top-tier quarterback talent in next year's cycle, going to one of the premier institutions in the nation for offense and the premier institution in the nation for quarterback play, which makes 100% sense. But now you're seeing the snowball effect of what a phenomenally talented quarterback like Nelson does, and this isn't news to Sooners fans. You've seen this in the past, but it's something I wanted to highlight because we're seeing it in front of our very eyes happen a year in advance, because that class of 2023 is a ways away, but we're seeing that snowball happen, the effect that a talented quarterback can have on your class. Really positive stuff, and that only is furthered today when Makai Lemon, five-star athlete out the state of California, also commits to the Oklahoma Sooners. Now, Lemon is a very intriguing prospect because of how unbelievably talented he is. A lot of institutions were very hopeful that they could get Lemon a part of their class, and make no mistake about it, guys such as Hasz and Lemon are going to be the subject of constant recruiting pitches until National Signing Day, because institutions are going to be doing everything they can to flip those guys. It only makes sense, and look, we're all not new to recruiting. We know how this goes. These institutions are going to be trying to flip talented players, and OU is getting talented players in that 23 class. But even though other teams are going to be doing everything they can to flip players, and that's not a novelty to Oklahoma, that happens across the board. We know recruiting, we know how this goes. The Sooners are in a really good position for these guys. First and foremost, it's the Oklahoma Sooners. We know what they do with offense. They're one of the premier institutions in the nation for offense, and when you're thinking of high-level offense in college football, the Sooners are one of the five teams you're going to think of instantly. That's the type of pantheon they're sitting in, because they've been able to do it consistently. And then they are in a class of their own when we're talking about the quarterback position. There are other institutions that have had really impressive runs with the quarterback. Clemson has done a phenomenal job with the position here recently. Alabama is actually really making up ground and having a ton of success with the quarterback position, but still Oklahoma is in a bit of a class of their own. And I bring that up for a few reasons. First and foremost, teams are going to be trying to get these players to flip from Oklahoma, but that's going to be a massive uphill battle to try and get that flip, because Oklahoma is so synonymous with offensive success, first and foremost, and then two, in the case of Makai Lemon, he is teammates with Malachi Nelson. They've wanted to play together, and that kind of relationship is going to be very hard to come in between. And then you compound that with exactly what I just said, that you're at one of the premier institutions in all of football for offensive play. You cannot go wrong. I've said this in the past. If you're an offensive playmaker and you end up choosing Oklahoma, everybody in college football is kind of like, yeah, we get it. I mean, they're one of the institutions that makes complete sense. And in that regard, it makes flipping guys much more difficult than it would be from a different institution. This is going to be something that we're going to have to keep watching because the Oklahoma class, sitting number 1 in the nation right now, doesn't look to slow down. And Lincoln Riley and company having such a talented squad this year, and now we know that Oklahoma will be moving to the SEC, multiple more pitches adding it into that recruiting layer for the Sooners, something we are going to absolutely keep our eye on. Hop down in the comments, let me know what you're thinking, because the Sooners are really off to a hot start in the class of 2023. I understand it's a long ways away, but it's something I wanted to talk about because they are off to a phenomenal start, and I think it needed to be talked about. Hop down in the comments, let me know what you're thinking. That's it. See ya.